Hey babe, welcome back to this week's episode where Reka is going to be taking us down the organizational rabbit hole. Get ready because
it is a rabbit hole indeed.
It is a rabbit hole indeed. So me as a person, organization is not the bane of my existence, but is also not my gift. And so just working with you for the time that we've been working together, you have changed my perspective in so many ways around how to stay organized, how to make sure that you just are putting things in the right folder digitally, and like everything's just easier to find. So I, as an entrepreneur, really, really value all of the wonderful insights that you've brought to the table.
Such as naming a folder.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to hear what are your strategies, and just take us down the rabbit hole in the way that you feel is best, so that, because I know I'm probably not the only person who has struggled to keep digital files and just general things organized. So lay it on us. Give us your secrets of the trade.
So organization has always come extremely easily to me, and I like it, and it creates such mental clarity and ease in my life that even the parts that I don't always want to do and I have to force myself to do, it always benefits me. Oh, thank you, previous Reka, for doing this the proper way. And technology does help us in a lot of ways, but it requires you to keep up with technology. So oftentimes I think it's counterintuitive. I'm doing all this research to find out what is the best possible tool. Now I'm getting lost in the sauce, looking for the tools instead of actually organizing the files. So this episode is to say, do whatever fucking makes sense for you. Just because I'm organizing something this way, A, it doesn't mean that you have to organize it this way. B, it may not make sense for your business exactly that way. I'm a designer. I have extremely specific files, file formats, exports, files for printers, files for digital things that clients can view and use, things that clients cannot use. Your business may be completely different, right? But I did notice today transferring files that you had multiple untitled folders. It's like, how do you know where to look? But basically, there is value in figuring out what works for you, because if we go back a step, one of the reasons we became entrepreneurs is to say, fuck you to the system. And I think this is my favorite part of our origin story, is that we were in corporate, or we worked a shitty job we hated, food service, or whatever customer service you were in, and you thought, I want to have my own hours, I want to do whatever I want to do, I want to organize things however I want to organize it. And the corporate burnout and whatever drama you have experienced, patriarchal rules, everything was externally forced upon you. I have worked at amazing companies as a designer before, a nonprofit and a for-profit, where I didn't quite experience all that. So I can't quite say that's why I quit. I just really wanted to have my own hours. But I'm slowly realizing that my hours are possibly the same, if not worse, as an entrepreneur. So then the flip side happens to us. We say, oh yeah, fuck the system. I'll do whatever I want, which means low-key constant anxiety about your clients, your files. I have so many friends, and I'm one of them too. I will take a laptop on vacation, because what if?
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I will have my external backup hard drive, because what if they need a file from 2016? What am I doing? That's not a vacation. We are putting ourselves into these situations because we say we don't want structure, but structure is really not your enemy. Structure will allow you to be in the space of ease. And this is why I'm saying what I think works may not necessarily work for you, but you have to create some sort of framework around what you're doing. Otherwise, you're basically back to where you were. You're just possibly more stressed or working more hours, which probably is true for most entrepreneurs. So structure is not the enemy is kind of the first point I wanted to make, and how rejecting structure as a, if you came from the corporate or some sort of different world or some sort of system where you felt like, this feels suffocating, flop to the other side. But really there has to be a balance in between, right? Another thing I find very interesting regarding all of that is when you say, I'm just going to do it my way, it means balls to the walls. Let's just do everything all at once, which Let's be honest, we are both becoming boss babes, where I would love to say that everything that we are saying, we uphold 100% of the time. It's not true. There are times we absolutely 100% boss way more than babe. And that will happen, and sometimes there are seasons of that in the business, and you have to go through that. And we are starting literally from scratch, even though our respective businesses have been operational for a while. But there is this myth of more, that if I just go harder, if I just spend more time, if I just have more offers, if I'm just cross-promoting all this information on all the platforms, I'm going to do better. When in reality, what happens when you have more offers? Your clients will not understand what they fall into. What happens if you're promoting the same exact information on Facebook versus LinkedIn versus Instagram versus TikTok? If I just say those words, the audience in my head is already so different. So what happens, your message gets diluted, and really just have like low-key anxiety around your business at all times. So don't do that. Figure out how to go with a couple of tools and a couple of things as deep as you can. That myth of more usually backfires on us. We're going to look at 3 different things today. We're going to talk about organization, structure, dare I say minimalism, don't run away, through the lens of business, home, and nervous system. So what I want you to think of is how all of these things are interconnected. And I think you talk about this in the school curriculum. Things that happen in your business will affect you in your life, right? Not even just from a financial standpoint, but how much energy you expand in your business versus your personal life. There can be a lot of different ways that there's just not a clean cut of who you are in your business and who you are as a person. Like how many people don't have a separate office where they work from home, and let's say that's the couch. That transition is not clear then. Well, I'm still just clickety-clacking on the computer, on the couch. I'm kind of trying to watch a movie. My partner is here, they made dinner, but it just gets really messy, right? So the psychological effects of that, you just keep carrying this with you versus clear-cut organization of I work until 5 and then after 5 I'm done. Or today I work until 7, but then after 7 it's dinner time or family time. So business structures first. Areas of your business that you can set up, no matter the tools or no matter how it may shift over time, the structure of it will probably stay the same. It's your systems, your offer architecture, marketing and promotions, and your sales. So the cool thing is that Grace, when she does a Akashic record reading for your business, actually goes through these exact things. So we're really bringing all of our knowledge together for this course, which I think is really cool. So it's very clear. These are the things that we look at from a branding perspective, from an alignment perspective. But if you think about your systems are your operational backbone. It supports you with consistency, it creates scalability should you want to run a larger organization, and it creates operational ease, let alone trying to hire an extra person in there and get somebody into your system. It's one thing that everything is up in your head in here. It's another thing to try to explain to someone else where the file is or where something is. So systems can be your set of tools that you're using, right? Digital tools or physical tools. It can be your workflows. Think of how you're onboarding a client, for example. How do they go through this process of finding you on the internet? Or, I don't know, maybe through a printed newspaper ad. Who knows? Maybe that's the thing we're going to bring back. Wouldn't it be so funny? Just random newspapers do a giant Boss Let's Be More ad.
We're in the tabloids.
Yeah. Just like a cute little business photo. So you can think about your tools, your workflows, and then automations. And they can be really simple things like, I love Buffer for Instagram scheduling. Don't know all the nuances, but for me to get a general something out that it's there and I batch processed and it's ready to go, huge weight off my back. Now I don't have to think about what is happening with that, because for the week I have 3 things going out where I've let my customers know we have a sound bath coming up, we have a new course coming out, a podcast episode dropped, it's all done, right? Versus in the moment. So think about that for systems. Then we talk about, I call it offer architecture, you call it products and services, but it's basically figuring out what it is that you're selling, and it can be a physical or digital product, and how is it that you're selling it. So you want to think about your flow of, there's an intro offer, you have a signature offer. Really and truly, if somebody signs up for your signature offer, how can you take them further? How can you put them into a monthly container? With design, for example, it's really difficult. There could be ongoing clients, but my work is really kind of just random based on what they need. Once I'm done branding somebody, yeah, maybe I'm creating social media posts or something for them, but I'm not rebranding them again for a long time, right? So my ongoing containers are really very different than potentially for you, where coaching would be something that they probably never want to stop anyway, you know, like they may need years of working with you. So offer architecture lets you figure that out. Then marketing and promotions, that's probably all of you know that. One is short-term, one is long-term. How do you figure out how to get in front of your people? What are those visuals? And then the fourth pillar is sales. So that's really getting somebody from your initial interaction all the way to bringing in revenue in your business. And you can have different sales tactics, you can have different funnels, you can drive them through your offer architecture, how you're getting an intro offer, now how you're going to sell them on a signature offer. You know, you can have a really beautiful nurturing sequence and funnel. And these are the parts, everybody can do this and know this. Do I have the most perfect sales funnels? No, I'm actually working on something right now. When I say that these are the right ways to do it, A, take it with a grain of salt. B, know that we are both continuously working on all these things in our business all the time. We're coming up with new offers, new ways of repackaging things. Like, how does it make sense to my current audience now? And then, God forbid, if you rebrand or shift who your target audience is, your old system may not work at all. So it's just a framework, right? But having these things actually written down, so not only, hey, come to us and work with us, we'll help you figure this out. Having this on your own, trying to write it down, will create so much clarity around what the fuck you're offering. You have worked super hard on clarifying those offers. You can come in, do this with me. You can come in, work with me for a full day. You can come in, work with me in a container, and then that's it. So guess what? When someone goes to your website, they, oh, I'm a first-time client. I'll probably want to do this with her. Okay, I'm really interested in going deeper. I want to spend a VIP day with her. Oh, I fucking love her. I need her in my sphere all the time. I want to sit in a container with her. That takes time and effort, and it's not rocket science. It's just energy versus constantly thinking, I need to create a new offer. I need to maybe this option. No, sit the fuck down and figure out the couple of ways that people can work with you, and then get feedback on it too. So that's one of the tests I'm going to do with Paper Reka. I want to drive traffic to a specific offer and then establish what are the markers that if I get enough people through the door to do this with me, is this a viable product that I can offer for X amount of dollars? Because right now it sounds like a really cool thing to do brand audit with people, but they don't really do a brand audit with me. They just do a brand design with me. So it's that lower price point, getting my name out kind of thing. How do I structure that? It's an offer that exists but doesn't really get taken advantage of. Maybe in 2 months I'll be, this doesn't actually make sense. This is not a viable product. You're not going to know until you create some systems around it and see if it works.
And honestly, it took me a couple years to figure out what the structure would work best with my clients. Okay, these are the 3 offers that I have regularly, and how can I funnel people from one to the next in an order that makes sense? It takes time to figure that out. So don't assume that you're just going to walk out as a brand new business owner like, yeah, I've got all my systems down and they're perfect. Yeah. No, you're gonna have to test things and play with it, tweak it, and then you're going to probably keep that system for a while, and then it'll become outdated, and then you'll change it again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's actually a really good sign of a business having a very good foundation and structure, which means you understand the point that you have to bring the clients in. This is actually a really good example of what is your intro offer will be so different than what my intro offer is. Price point wise, packaging wise, number of meetings wise, amount of communication-wise, final delivery-wise, in all the ways, shape, or form. But the structure remains the same, right? There's an intro offer for a specific price point, and they're gonna get a check mark of you'll get this, 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 and this. And at the end, they have an option to stay with you or not stay with you. It's a one-off or not a one-off. But again, so many people talk about this. What is easier, getting 40 brand new people through the door or getting 20 people through the door and then upgrading them to your next thing? That amount of energy or people in your sphere, eventually you'll start seeing these patterns. I gotta offer something where I can keep them around. They have already invested in me, they know me. We have every single communication channel, everything set up the way that I like it. That creates operational ease. That helps your systems in the long run, where it sounds so silly, but that kind of structure, having it in place, it's like, okay, great. That makes sense so far? Yes or no?
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. For sure.
So decluttering your business, I have mentioned a couple of things, but a few things that I truly, truly believe to be true are audit some of your systems. Look at what your offerings are. Just write down every possible thing. Think of all of the offers that you have. Think of all of the tools that you're using. And then notice that so often, and I get caught in this with technology, it's possible that there's a tool out there that's better for you and you should switch. But think about all of these tools and things that you pay for or things that are duplicates. I would argue that going deeper with a couple of tools, what if I just go really deep with Instagram and find my people? Then again, I posted something yesterday, 7 likes. So who knows? But focus on that, because if I'm jumping around, then I'm not really watching the metrics here or there, and that creates so much clutter in my brain. That feels like I'm constantly in action versus I've completed my tasks for Instagram this week. Now next week I can watch what were the metrics, see if I did better, see if switching the day of posting mattered, how I worded something mattered, right? There's no way to really measure things if I'm constantly hopping from one thing to another. So evaluate the tools that you have and ditch what you don't need, but try to see if less allows you to go deeper and actually find your people.
I think the shedding of the things that aren't working too is just so beautiful and liberating. We just had a shed of budding entrepreneurs. So
yes.
We had our second tier for Patreon, and we decided we were running into so many issues with it where we just decided, you know what? This is more work than it's worth. Let's just cut it.
Yeah.
And it feels really nice.
And it was a brilliant idea. I was super proud of it. We're excited to record it. We spent a lot of time recording it. We spent a lot of time thinking about it. And it still wasn't the right thing. And does it mean, this is my favorite part about it, and this is, we'll talk about home in a second too, but this is the same thing about closet organization that I ask sometimes some of my clients who declutter things, because that's just, oh my God, just really gets me going to throw shit away, especially other people's shit. I'm really good at throwing my shit away, but if you let me help you throw your shit away, I will be fucking ruthless. I'll ask you questions that will bring you to your knees. When was the last time you wore this? How many more of this? Do you realize that this is a tan coat and that's a tan coat and that's a beige coat? Out of the 3, you can keep 1. Go. Look, you have 5 seconds to decide. I'm ruthless and it's really fun for me. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I love that kind of shit. Would you purchase this again? I have, especially athletic gear, I spend a lot of money on some of that stuff. I want it to be a specific fabric, feel, color, and then I have a handful of those. I don't feel bad spending $150 for a hoodie from Lululemon because I know I'm gonna wear it until it's thinned out, has holes in it, and absolutely frays to pieces. So that $150 I spend on it, I probably wear it 450 times or more. So what is the investment of how easily you can replace it, or would you replace it? Because sometimes you're holding onto it because this was expensive, but you're not wearing it, you're not using it. So the same with your business tools, same with some of your offers. Nobody's biting on that offer. It's not a good offer. So right now, the brand audit, brilliant idea. I'm gonna test, because obviously I have not given it enough thought and energy to really see. And then I will sadly let it go. Maybe I'll do a little ritual and cry about it. But if it's not working, why the fuck is it on the website? Make it easier and more simpler for people to follow. And also, other people are also cluttered. So their brain is already in so many places that when they come to you, if your shit is also cluttered, they want more simplicity from you because they are already fucked and overcomplicated, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I love. Find the tools, go deep with the couple of things that you're doing, and then you can always add more. You can always add more. You can always buy another pair of pants. It will, another tan coat if you really want to. Another thing, close the energetic leaks and these things in the business that are ongoing. Maybe a subscription to something, maybe there is a client you don't really like working with. But what are those energetic leaks where you're not paying attention to your business and not serving the people that can actually really benefit from what you're doing? I love this. Protect your strategic time. What you do in the first few hours of the day or the week really sets the tone for the business. I get up really early in the morning now, which I used to never ever. I don't even know who I am. But the first few hours, other than tarot and journaling, I really try to not really look at social media, not really look at anything other than what is a task list I can make, what is a thing that didn't get accomplished the day before. Really, really focus time. And sometimes I accomplish so much by the time the rest of my house is up and ready to run. So think about that. What is your strategic time? When can you protect it? And maybe it's not early in the morning. Maybe it's late at night when your kids go to sleep or something. That's totally fine. I used to put my phone and my laptop on airplane mode. So I would just design, and if I want to click on a website, all of a sudden it's just so automatic. And I think you have some restrictions on your social media time, don't you? Only so many hours of screen time a day, or how does it work?
Yeah, it resets every day.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
And I'm sure that you don't even catch, oh, fuck, I've done 2 hours already? There's no way. Because it's just not how you perceive time. And oftentimes when I go to those outlets, I don't want to solve a problem. I don't want to send a tricky email. Something is not right with the design, so I'm just avoiding, right? I'm sitting in that indecision. Those tools are amazing to set boundaries and be, hey, this is what you should be working on, not dilly-dallying. So lastly, about your digital hygiene, such as organizing folder names, I do really well with a zero inbox or zero email inbox or whatever. I don't even know what it's called. But basically my inbox is a to-do list because I keep it extremely organized. I don't have tens of thousands of emails in there. So what is in there is something I'm currently working on. So that works for me. I know people who are the complete opposite. They have so many emails and so overwhelmed by it that it doesn't work for them. But there are ways you can A, organize it, B, unsubscribe from certain things, which I was posting about this on Instagram, doing my deep declutter January stuff. And this lovely friend told me about unsubscribe.me. Have you heard of this? I don't need to unsubscribe from that much, but because she sent it, I'll check it out. And basically you put in your Gmail address and it gives you all the things that you can just one click unsubscribe from hundreds of different things. And it's a free account. It doesn't cost anything. Maybe it was 2 minutes to set it up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and even Gmail now gives you a main tab and a promotion and a socials and whatever, so that has even gotten better. And actually Gmail now does that. You haven't opened this email, do you want to unsubscribe? Gmail will prompt you, and I love that. You're right, I haven't. Yesterday I unsubscribed from this newsletter, this marketing newsletter that's really good content. I just want to be this person that reads this newsletter, and I'm not. The idea of who I think I am because I clicked on that is not actually who I am.
Is that Andrew Cordell?
I unsubscribed from him too. He's just a little too advanced with finances. I'm not to his level. I find his information overwhelming. I know he's brilliant, but he's too much for me. But there's an identity shift and loss with that, right? Especially as an entrepreneur, you're not required to follow this. You think that you're this person who follows this, and then when you have to take yourself away from that or really think about it, it's like, fuck, I don't need this. I'm not reading it. It's fine. I can resubscribe. It's fine. It will find my way back to me. I gotta trust the universe that it will find its way back to me. Yeah, unsubscribe.me if you guys have email struggles. Another thing I'm gonna say about digital hygiene is, because I feel like this has affected our business really quite a lot actually, the amount of information, the file sizes, and the complexity of how quickly folders and files can get out of hand. Even just starting a business with you less than a year ago is baffling to me. The videos that we record, how many gigs the data is, all of the storage things that we had to update, the phone that has to be bigger and faster and better. What the fuck? It's so much. So try to think of systems where Instead of upping your subscription, which I've done both right now, this year I've done both the iCloud storage and my Google Drive folder, I am paying now for more storage. Think about the ways that you can archive certain things, because what I'm noticing with some of these subscriptions is it's not that big of a deal to jump from $2.99 to $5.99, from $100 a year to $200 a year. That incremental change is not much, except the tax on your nervous system that is now everything will always live on your phone forever. And when you get a new phone, they'll transfer everything. So instead of you taking your precious 25 favorite photos from the last 6 years, now it's 6,005 photos from the last 20 years. And what ends up happening is you never quite quit the system enough to feel like I got a fresh start. So you have a newer phone and you have a newer laptop, but your storage is upgraded. So everything lives on there at all times. So I do this, I would say monthly is maybe a lie, but probably every 2 months, I have an external hard drive. I back up all of my client files. So firstly, if anything happens to my laptop, I have that. But secondly, it's off of my computer. So the computer runs faster, better, and it's just a client file that is complete. Why is it there? Why is it a thing that I'm seeing in front of me at all times? It's mental clarity. And then it helps with storage. So my iCloud storage doesn't have to be as comprehensive because half of that shit is gone and I really don't need it. These backup drives, guys, are a cracker size. And same with the phone. Just how many years can we scroll back now in photographs, and how many photographs? I mean, okay, I scroll back and look at some photographs, but do I need all of the photographs from there? No. But because I have this insane amount of data available to me, I don't delete anything. And it's hard because it requires discipline. And I'm sure there are people who every week close out everything perfectly. I'm not it, but every couple of months you can do that. Home systems will be a really short one because really and truly we are business owners and we don't want to talk too much about the home. But clutter in your home, very specific places that you avoid, rooms that you avoid. Notice where your shit is always piled up. Do you dump a bunch of things when you come into the house at the entrance of your house? It's extremely taxing on your nervous system to come into a home and feel like, I just came into a bunch of stuff that is disorganized. So coming home feels like a chore. You don't think about it quite that way. You come home and then it's just a pile, or your laundry is not folded. And I will say I fucking hate folding laundry. That will be one of my things that I absolutely hate doing. Oh, with business stuff, I didn't talk about the financial things, but that's one thing. Organizing your finances, having a bookkeeper. I hate the financial stuff. I don't want to do it. I'm not good at it. I absolutely hate doing it. Hire the bookkeeper, gonna find the right tax accountant. What are the things that you know that you're not good at that you can outsource? And the same thing with your home. Get somebody to help you declutter, to organize some systems. Throw away clothes. If you have ever lost weight, or you're on some weight loss journey, for example, how many times do you hold on to clothes that you used to fit into 10 years ago? These are my skinny jeans, or these are my high school jeans. By the time you, let's say you get there, good on you. How many things are actually going to be outdated or out of style or not helping you? But the most important thing that I want to say about the home is that not only your home is not separate from your business, which we mentioned at the beginning, but home is where your decisions are made. Home is where your regulation happens or doesn't happen. And home is where energy is restored or drained. So think about this as a continuation of your business and as a helpful place for nervous system reset. So if you go home and you just go into clutter or fucking disorganization or papers everywhere, will you be able to detach from what happened at your business and feel like, oh, all right, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna reset my nervous system, I'm gonna regulate? You can, because there's 5,000 tasks here. Laundry is overflowing, kitchen dishes are everywhere. So then in the morning, when you leave that pile of shit, you're not really separating these areas where you can regulate yourself or rest yourself. And your home should be that. And it's very hard when you live with other people. It is very hard when you have children who have toys around. I get all of that. But the more systems you can put in place that work for you, that work for your family, the better. So clean your closet, clean your spaces, notice what are the problem areas. And then I am really getting into some feng shui. So there are ways, if you guys Google bagua mat, Bagua, That's a map you can overlay on any room that tells you, like, okay, that back corner is where I always have clutter. Then you can kind of know that's wealth related or fame related or children related. So there are areas in which you can change the energetics of it. That's really, really cool stuff. Last but not least, this is a little bit of home, a little bit of nervous system regulation, but things like, how do you fuel your body? How much do you move your body? Do you sleep? I don't sleep. I would love to sleep more. But what are those things that work well for you? So maybe I don't need to sleep as much as another human, but you need to sleep. You need to fuel your body with decent ingredients. Did we just have some chocolate? Sure, but you should hydrate, which sucks in the winter time. Just regular water is so fucking boring to me, right? I struggle with those things too, but systems that help you reset, that help you fuel your body. None of this is A, new information, B, magic, or it's just basic science that you can so easily find where, how can I put this kindly? We make a lot of excuses for ourselves as entrepreneurs. I'm too tired to sleep, I'm too this, I'm too that. Then go work for someone else, because ultimately it's going to trickle down to your family and friendships and relationship affairs. And then ultimately to your clients too. So entrepreneurship, we've said this a million times, it's a lonely road, it's a hard road, it's not for everybody. But there are systems and things that instead of the externally imposed on you, okay, fine, you quit your corporate job. Think about for a second what you can inject into the world, create the boundaries that you can actually successfully boss less and babe more, really, the ultimate goal. And this is to say, you and I are not perfect at it, and it will be a continuous road for a while, but the more we put the systems in place, and I think that's kind of what's cool about Boss Less Babe More with you. I started Paper Rake alone a long time ago, not fucking knowing how to run a business, and I'm sure that's kind of how you started yours. Coming together after so many trials and tribulations on our own, all of our stuff. Well, firstly, I think it's incredible what we've accomplished in 10 months, but I also think we come to the table with so much more knowledge that budding entrepreneurs had to die. But what we do put in place is very well thought out and not so much spaghetti thrown to the wall. And there's still trials and there's still failures and technology is still kind of crazy, right? But if we say we're going to do this, we do that thing. If we think about just recently, we had to cancel an event due to weather. We probably spent an hour discussing all of the options. Where do we direct them? What are the links? Set up this thing, set up that thing, clearly communicated in the email. Does this make sense to you? Does this make sense to you? It takes effort to be that intentional. But then you know what happened? We sent that email and then 90% of our problems were solved. There were 2 small technical issues we had to deal with, but it was done because we spent the work ahead of time. So that kind of clarity of the event got canceled and everybody got rebooked almost completely automatically, other than that 1 hour that we focused on working it out. Huge versus emailing everybody back and forth individually, dilly-dallying, blah, blah, right? How much mental clarity did we have after, okay, this is done. Mm-hmm. I sped through so much, so much information, but do you have any thoughts or feedback or anything to add that made sense?
Honestly, you just covered so many things from so many different perspectives and life areas that I'm like, okay, great, mic drop.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom on all of the organization, because I know that organization is a thorn in so many entrepreneurs' sides. So just hearing that, one, it's not going to be perfect from the start. It's something that really does require intentionality, trial and error. And if you are patient with yourself and very compassionate, then at some point all of those kinks do get worked out. And whenever you implement all of these systems and ways of being organized, it actually, even though it sucks in the process sometimes of implementing them, it does make your life and business so much easier and everything just flows so much better. So thank you so much for sharing all of that.
You're welcome. So if you guys liked this information, found it helpful, I want to tell you 2 things. One is all of this way more expanded, way more in detail will be in our school content curriculum, and that is coming out soon. We are bossing hardcore behind the scenes, and so I will put a link below for you to sign up for email updates regarding all of this school content. We have a launch date, but I just don't want to say it out loud quite yet publicly until we work out some more technical kinks. But if you want to be up to date on when it's going to get launched, all the extra information about it, please sign up for that. It will not be used for other info. That will be for the school. And just as a teaser, if you sign up for the email, as a thank you, I will include a journal prompt for you that is about entrepreneur pitfalls.
Amazing. So go ahead, click that link, get the PDF, and it's going to help you so much in the organizational department. And until then,
don't forget
to boss less, babe more.